Canada and America, two nations, forever linked. Their histories are intertwined, their futures seemingly destined to be together. From the dawn of exploration to modern times, these two countries have shared more than just a border. They've shared dreams, ambitions, and a vision for a brighter future. A shared history, a border almost invisible. This 500-mile stretch is the longest undefended border in the world, a testament to the trust and friendship built over centuries. More than neighbors, they were family. Families that celebrated holidays together, cheered for each other's teams, and stood by each other in times of need. The bond was palpable, a living, breathing entity thriving on mutual respect and shared values. Sure, they teased each other. Friendly banter was part of their relationship, a way to show affection and camaraderie. It was all in good fun, a way to keep the bond strong and vibrant. They bickered over hockey and healthcare. These debates, though sometimes heated, reflected their passion and commitment to their respective ways of life. Hockey, a sport both nations hold dear, often became a battleground for national pride. Healthcare, a topic of endless discussion, showcased their differing approaches to societal well-being. But at the heart of it there was love, a deep, abiding respect, or so it seemed. This respect was the glue that held them together, allowing them to navigate their differences with grace and understanding. The world envied their bond. Politicians lauded their cooperation. International forums often highlighted the US-Canada relationship as a model for others to follow. Their ability to work together on global issues was seen as a beacon of hope in a world often divided by conflict. From joint military exercises to synchronized environmental policies, their collaboration was extensive and multifaceted. They trained together, prepared for potential threats, and worked hand in hand to protect the environment. Their joint efforts were a testament to their shared commitment to peace and sustainability. They were a model of international harmony. Their representatives often stood side by side at international conferences, advocating for common causes and pushing for global progress. Their unity was a source of inspiration for many. The world looked on, admiring the seemingly unbreakable friendship between the Great White North and the Land of the Free. This friendship was celebrated at joint events, where crowds from both nations came together in a display of unity and shared joy. But beneath the surface, tension brewed. Despite the outward appearances, underlying issues occasionally surfaced. These tensions were often subtle, manifesting in moments of disagreement and discord. A disagreement here, a misunderstanding there. These small cracks in their relationship were often overlooked, dismissed as minor issues that would resolve themselves over time. Like a crack in a pristine mirror, it was small, almost imperceptible, but it was there, a reminder that even the strongest bonds can be fragile. But the potential for shatter was real, and shatter it did. The once unbreakable friendship faced challenges that tested its very foundation. The world watched, hoping these two great nations would find a way to mend the cracks and restore their bond. The Trump administration dropped the bomb, tariffs on Canadian steel. The news reverberated across the globe. Markets shuddered, pundits gasped, Canada, blindsided, reeled. This wasn't a playful jab, this was a blow. The reasons given seemed flimsy, almost insulting. National security, protecting American jobs. The justifications rang hollow to Canadian ears. It felt personal. Betrayal tinged the air. The amicable facade crumbled. The trade war had begun. Accusations flew faster than hockey pucks in a Stanley Cup final. Canada, its voice trembling with a mixture of anger and disbelief, pointed a finger at its southern neighbor. This wasn't about steel, they cried. It was about power, control. Whispers of annexation swirled through the Canadian Parliament. The US, with its insatiable appetite for land and resources, was finally making its move. The tariffs were just the beginning, or so the fear-mongering went. The US, for its part, remained defiant. Their booming voice drowned out Canada's protests. They painted a picture of a manipulative Canada taking advantage of their generosity, stealing jobs, exploiting trade agreements, undermining American sovereignty. Their explanations were a tangled mess of contradictions. One minute, Canada was a national security threat. The next, they were best friends. The inconsistency fueled Canada's indignation. Their anger simmered. Betrayal festered. The rift widened. Section 5 Maple Leaf Counteroffensive. Canada, though known for its politeness, wasn't about to back down. They retaliated. Tariffs on American goods, carefully chosen for maximum political pain, bourbon, orange juice, playing cards, a calculated strike back. They took their case to the American people, appearing on late-night talk shows, charming their way into American living rooms. They highlighted the interconnectedness of their economies, how tariffs hurt everyone. It was a savvy PR move, appealing to the hearts and minds of everyday Americans. Section 6, the economies tremble. The impact was felt on both sides of the border. Stock markets jittered. Businesses large and small braced for the worst. Farmers caught in the crossfire watched their livelihoods threatened. The economic pain was real. Canada, feeling the pinch, announced support measures for affected industries. Job training programs, financial aid. They were determined to weather the storm, but for how long? The uncertainty loomed. The future seemed precarious. Section 7. Discord on both sides of the border. The trade war exposed cracks within each nation. Factories were left in disrepair. Supply chains were broken, and stock markets saw a significant decline. The economic impact was felt deeply on both sides of the border, leading to widespread concern and unrest. In Canada, opposition parties seized the opportunity to criticize Trudeau's handling of the crisis. They argued that his policies were ineffective and that he had failed to protect Canadian interests. Protests erupted, with citizens holding anti-Trudeau signs, demanding better leadership and accountability. They questioned his leadership, his strategy, his very Canadianness. Media headlines were filled with criticism, and opposition leaders gave impassioned speeches calling for a change in direction. Trudeau's concerned expression became a symbol of the nation's uncertainty. Meanwhile, south of the border, American politicians were divided. The trade war had created a rift within Congress, with heated debates and divided opinions. Political rallies showcased the stark contrast in viewpoints, reflecting the nation's deepening divide. Some, particularly those representing industries hit by Canadian tariffs, voiced their concerns. They highlighted the struggles of American workers and the negative impact on local economies. Press conferences were held to address these issues, but solutions seemed elusive. Others, loyal to the Trump administration, remained steadfast in their support of the trade war. They believed it was a necessary measure to protect American interests and restore economic balance. Trump supporters rallied behind this stance, showing unwavering support. The political landscape became a minefield of conflicting opinions and allegiances. News anchors discussed the trade war with graphics illustrating the divide, and chaotic scenes from political rallies underscored the tension. Both nations grappled with internal discord, making the path to resolution increasingly complex. Section 8. A friendship fading. The once vibrant tapestry of US-Canada relations had faded. The colors, once bright and hopeful, were now muted, stained with resentment. The song of friendship, once sung in perfect harmony, was now a cacophony of discord. The world watched, bewildered and saddened, as the two allies sparred. The damage, both economic and emotional, was undeniable. The future of their friendship, once considered a certainty, was now shrouded in doubt. Section 9. A world on edge. The trade war between the US and Canada served as a stark reminder of the fragility of international relations. What began as a disagreement over tariffs quickly escalated into a full-blown economic conflict, affecting not just the two nations involved, but also the global market. The ripple effects were felt far and wide, causing stock markets to fluctuate wildly, and businesses to reconsider their international strategies. It highlighted the dangers of protectionism, where the desire to shield domestic industries can lead to unintended consequences. Factories shut down, borders closed, and tariffs on imported goods became the new norm. The economic landscape was altered dramatically, leaving many to question the wisdom of such policies. The seductive allure of nationalism also played a significant role. Politicians on both sides used patriotic rhetoric to rally their bases, further deepening the divide. Nationalist rallies became more frequent, and the symbols of patriotism were wielded like weapons in a battle for public opinion. The ease with which friendships can fracture was evident. Long-standing alliances were tested, and the diplomatic meetings that once symbolized unity now showcased tense body language and broken promises. The handshake, a universal symbol of agreement, seemed to lose its meaning. In a world grappling with climate change, economic inequality, and political polarization, the stakes have never been higher. Climate change protests erupted, highlighting the urgent need for global cooperation. Economic disparity continued to grow, fueling political debates and rallies that often ended in more division than consensus. Cooperation and understanding are more important than ever. Successful diplomatic meetings and images of international cooperation serve as beacons of hope. Diverse groups of people coming together to shake hands symbolize the potential for unity in a fractured world. The trade war between two of the world's closest allies should serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the strongest of bonds can be broken. Historical footage of US-Canada relations shows a time when cooperation was the norm, not the exception. Leaders of both countries once met with smiles and mutual respect, a stark contrast to the current state of affairs, a reminder that even the strongest of bonds can be broken. The frayed rope and broken chain are symbolic of the fragile nature of alliances. What was once strong and unbreakable can quickly become weak and shattered. The world holds its breath, hoping for reconciliation. People watch the news anxiously, their eyes glued to TV screens, waiting for any sign of progress. The symbolic image of the world on edge captures the collective anxiety and hope for a resolution, for a return to harmony. Peace talks offer a glimmer of hope, and the sight of leaders shaking hands in agreement brings a sense of relief. The dove flying symbolizes the fragile peace that everyone yearns for, but the path forward remains uncertain. The foggy path and road leading into uncertainty are metaphors for the challenges that lie ahead. The ambiguous signpost serves as a reminder that the future is not set in stone, a stark reminder of the challenges facing our interconnected world. The network of interconnected lines and the globe with interlinked chains symbolize the complex web of relationships that define our world. Diverse groups of people working together highlight the potential for collaboration and unity in overcoming these challenges.